Call this regular meeting to order.
Mayor Quiram. Here. Councilmember Newman. Here. Gomez. Here. McCall. Here. McCransky. Here.
Please stand and join us in the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So to get started tonight, any public comment? Okay, so we'll go to approval of minutes and Commissioner Newman.
Thank you, Mayor. I move that we approve the minutes from our regular council meeting on April 3rd, 2023.
Second.
Motions and second comments. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye. I'll go to approval of invoices and city clerk.
For this period in the Department of Accounts and Finances, we have invoices totaling $70,040.05. In the Department of Streets and Public Improvements, we have invoices totaling $98,840.07. In the Department of Public Safety, we have invoices totaling $242,112.87. And in the Department of Public Property and Utilities, we have invoices totaling $820,194.57, for a grand total of $1,231,187.56. Mayor, all council members present have indicated their reviews of all invoices and now are submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve the invoices as presented.
Second.
Motions and second comments. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye. We'll go to regular business and city clerk also.
Next on the agenda is Ordinance O-23-004. This is the second and final reading of an ordinance authorizing a fiscal budget for corporate purposes for the fiscal year commencing on May 1, 2023 and ending on April 30th, 2024. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve ordinance O-23-004.
Second.
Motions and second comments. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-23-005. This is an ordinance establishing a financial reserve procedure policy. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-23-005 to the second reading.
Second.
Motions and second comments. Teresa?
We touched on this at the last meeting, just to give you a little intro of where we're going with this policy, which is now will be proposed as an ordinance, establishing our minimum reserve. Even if we have not reached the minimum reserve, it's our goal to get to that minimum. We do have it set at 16, which is what we had discussed before, 16 million. But a portion of that is set aside for electric, so we need to keep that in mind.
Carry on.
Okay. Within the ordinance, I do want to point out on number 6, which is really the section that you'd want to focus on. With a 4 to 5 vote, you can use some of the reserves for a temporary decrease in revenues that were completely unexpected. I would have said COVID might have been one of those times. Resources to meet emergency expenditures in case of an infrastructure failure, whether it's something with water, sewer, electric, something like that. Or in the case of an emergency such as floods, fires, tornadoes, or other natural disasters. So those are the areas that we could use, tap into the reserves for. That's what your reserves are there for those emergency purposes. Now with that, if it does come to that point in time that you want to dig into the reserves for something like that, you need to have a 3-year period that you want to replenish those reserves. So you need to have something in the plans to be able to do that. And I would recommend that this ordinance be reviewed at least every 3 years because we know costs go up. So what we have in reserves now may not be adequate in 3 years from now. So any questions on that? This is actually something our auditors ask for each year. We do not have it, so I think that would be thrilled that we have it. So.
And having, low debt, and our debt is coming down, and increasing our reserves also affects the city's credit rating as well in a positive manner. So, all good things. Any further comments from the council? Motion has been seconded. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye.
Next on the agenda is ordinance O-23-006. This is an ordinance revising the fair solar credit of 10.28 cents per kilowatt hour for the fiscal year 2023-2024. This is the first reading. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this ordinance and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we advance ordinance O-23-006 to the second reading.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Comments?
Is this for people with independent solar systems in town, and they're selling those kilowatts back to the
Yes.
city? Is that what it is?
Yes. It gets adjusted every year.
Any further comments? Motion's been seconded. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye.
I guess I still got one more here, huh? Next on the agenda is Resolution R-23-010. This is a resolution appropriating $380,000 in motor fuel tax funds for street maintenance. Mayor, all council members have reviewed this resolution and it is submitted for disposition.
I move that we approve resolution R-23-010.
Second.
Motion's been seconded. Teresa?
Each year when we get ready to do the street program, we're usually doing this resolution to basically ask approval to use the motor fuel tax fund for specific purposes. So the $380,000 will actually be used for our street program, for the street maintenance projects that you've seen that have kind of been in the works for coming up for the summer. So this is the motor fuel tax portion. We also have our sales tax portion, so this isn't the complete amount of money for the summer projects. So.
Any comments from the council? Motion's been seconded. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky. Mayor Quiram.
Aye. Thank you, Steve. And then we'll go to city manager report.
I did give you guys a couple copies. I don't have these on the agenda, but I do want to bring them to your attention. There's extra copies up there for anybody else that's in the audience today that wants to take them. Our bike committee has been very active this last year, or the year before as well, but you may have heard we put in some new repair maintenance stations, one at Zering Park and one at Rotary Park. And they are going to be doing a demonstration bicycle workshop, how to work on your bikes with this type of equipment, on May 8th at 6 p.m. There'll be giveaways, stuff for the kids, that type of stuff. So they just want people to get familiar with the equipment, learn how to use the equipment, and then just promote some bike safety as well in the community. So those flyers are up there. I also put in front of you the Z-Tour flyer, which is set for June 24th. And I think it's going to be bigger and better this year, so get out there and support it if we can. And one last item before I go into my other topics. You should have gotten a notice for training from Miller Hall and Triggs for the municipal law seminars that they hold each year. There's some very good topics on there, so if you can get down to that, let's try to get as many of you down there as we can. Put it in your mailbox.
I've been to a couple of those, maybe three, and it's well worth your time. When you get a lunch, you're out by probably 12:30 or something.
Yeah. Also in your packets, you have the police pension fund report for February of 23. And I do have on here an update. I was going to give everybody an update on the UTV golf cart ordinance that we've had a committee kind of throwing some ideas back and forth a little bit. We met last week. I'm trying to think how many people were in that meeting. I think maybe 10. I'm going to say 10 or 11. Throughout had some good discussion. Where we're at right now is we are working from completely a draft. I mean, we have to have something to go from. So I've gotten some questions on different data that some people may want, so I'm trying to dig up some of that. We have some questions on some of the laws, so we're trying to make sure we get all of that cleared up. The only thing I'll say is I think the committee will be meeting again sometime here in the short future. But if you do, as council, get some questions or concerns or issues brought to your attention, please let me know so we can make sure we're getting all of that. I don't want to hear from, others. I need to know what, or at the last minute, I need to know what these issues or concerns are first. So it's a good first start. We're getting there. So another quick, did you have a question?
No. Can't wait to get my tape.
One thing that's been in the works for, I think, nearly a decade, maybe more, is our code book being available electronically. We actually have it done, and I have the link. But next meeting, I think we have to actually adopt the code book again through ordinance. So I just want to give you an update on that we do finally have it. So that'll be great to be able to look at it online and click and pull up the ordinances. So last thing I'll touch on is you see our new sign down here in front of the podium, or the stage here, for our Tree City USA designation. With this year's award, we actually got what they call, it's the first time we've gotten it, it's called the Growth Award as well. And it's actually for communities that have demonstrated an outstanding commitment to sustainable urban forest management. And this is another one of our committees, our tree committee, that has went above and beyond this last year. They've really taken the reins and have some very lofty goals. Dennis, can I have you come up and give a little spiel of your goals this coming year?
Just state your name, Dennis, is all you need.
Dennis Taylor. I won't be long. There's a lot to be proud of in the last, well, you guys are all involved in this. The Tree City USA with the Growth Award is amazing, and that's due to the fact that we now have an urban forestry management plan. We have a tree ordinance with the tree board. We have a tree inventory that's been completed with a few removal, trimming, new tree placements, all in here. The goal this year, and then the goal for this year, is to really put 100 trees out for the next 10 years, for 1,000 trees. And in this plan here I've got where we want to start this year is to plant trees from essentially right in here, not anything in front of the fire department. Keep them clear. And keeping things clear. It's all within the ordinance. Certain restrictions, certain size trees. Certain height, certain size trees. What's below, certain size trees. And there's approval on the trees that can be planted. There's trees that can't be planted. It's all in the ordinance. And the education that we want to start working with, as far as, I was just in the party building today, let's get some information into there, get some information in here as to an education to start working with planting. And I'll work with the city on that. We've already talked to a few members of the city on that. To get some trees started, and then inventory them as we go. The GIS system is here. Every tree that we've got on the inventory is in a system as to what it is, where it is, the status of it, the recommendations for what to be done. I know that's coming lately with the storms. I looked at 2 this morning. But let's go here to the North Business District, which basically stops at Pizza Hut where we quit last time, and then going further north from Jimmy John's area out toward Scooters, stopping that area. Elm Place. Let's get some trees back on Elm Place. And I think we're going to try to get it with the proclamation that we have to do again and advertise with the paper and get a tree planted for Arbor Day. And we haven't decided yet, but Elm Place seems like a pretty nice place to start one tree on Elm back on Elm Place. But not one species. This would be mixed up. We'll have different monoculture of trees. And then also on Park Avenue West. And stopping from Park Avenue West down a little bit towards the to the courthouse. We're trying to get trees into the high-vis areas. When people are coming into town, we're seeing more trees being planted. Especially at that north end. It's a little desolate. And the trees that we've done on the South District have really advanced and they've grown quite a bit. The trees at the North District, they're doing well. We've done, since this tenure's been here, we've done the parking lot behind Spoons. We've done the parking lot behind, well, next to Spurgeon's, downtown pub. like to call it Spurgeon's, and the parking lot at the North District at Main and Flower District, our district. So there's been a lot done in the last few years, and everybody should be proud of that. And what's happened up here with everything that's been going, you guys should be proud of that. And this is, I just wanted to get that in on, especially your last meeting, Mayor. It's the last thing done in your tenure here. And it's just all working more towards getting people in Princeton seeing more trees and having the trees work for us.
The only thing I'll also mention to help with this initiative is with the 50/50 program that we do for the tree incentive for residents. Is we were doing a $50 rebate for the trees. We're looking at doing $150 for the year forward. So
I didn't know if that was, and that starts in the fiscal year. And what is that date? I got clients.
May 1st.
Right, May 1.
May 1st.
May 1st, great. He says yes. Before, if you planted a $500 tree, you get $50. If you planted a $100 tree, you get $50. Now at least it's literally tripled, and that's great. It's going to get more people willing to do this. And there's talk that maybe if there's money in the end of the year, it might be 2. The whole idea is just to get trees planted, not to have an inventory. You want a reserve, but this is for trees. Let's get them planted. That's all I have. I would have more board members tonight. The one's recovering COVID. One said it's bath night. There's kids. Priority. And I don't think they always got family commitments. So it's good. We got a great tree board. We lost one. We're going to get another person involved soon. That's it.
Thank you, Dennis.
Thank you.
I'll add also that Dennis is involved in, I don't know if everybody has seen the lights on South Main Street, on the trees on Main Street, and the tree in front of Neil and Shorty's, the one across the street in front of Four Seasons. You'll see it's a different color. There's more lights to it. So, and the trunk is being wrapped, and so the goal is here going forward, all the trees on South Main Street are going to be, the trunks will be wrapped in that color light, and more lights put on the tree as well. So that's a project we're currently working on.
This is going to get a nice time.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thank you, Dennis.
Yes.
And is that okay? So I've got a proclamation to read. Arbor Day. In 1872, J. Sterling Morton proposed to the Nebraska Board of Agriculture that a special day be set aside for the planting of trees. Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world. The legislature of the state of Illinois has adopted an act designated Arbor Day, and by that act has designated the last day of April as Arbor Day. Trees can reduce the erosion of our precious topsoil by wind and water, cut heating and cooling costs, moderate the temperature, clean the air, produce oxygen, and provide habitat for wildlife. Trees are a renewable resource, giving us paper, wood for our homes, fuel for our fires, and countless other wood products. Trees in our city increase property values, enhance the economic vitality of business areas, and beautify our community. It is the purpose of the designation of this day throughout the nation to encourage the planting of trees and to promote their protection and care to ensure their beauty and usefulness. Trees, wherever they are planted, are a source of joy and spiritual renewal. Through the cooperation of all the residents of our city, the beneficial effects of tree planting can be increased, and we can pass on an enduring heritage of beauty and utility to succeeding generations in Princeton. Therefore, I, Joel Quiram, the Mayor of Princeton, and the Princeton City Council do hereby proclaim Friday, April 28, 2023, as Arbor Day in the city of Princeton. And I urge all citizens to support efforts to protect our trees and woodlands and to support our city's urban forestry program. And I urge all citizens to observe this day by the planting of one or more trees in the coming year. One other item I have, Pete put this on there, it's a wrap, and it is a wrap. This is my last meeting as Mayor of Princeton. It's been an honor and a privilege to serve as Mayor of Princeton. I appreciate the support I have had throughout the years, and it's been an extremely rewarding experience. Social media is not always that kind, but you plow through that and you get the information out there in a transparent way, and I think that's all a very positive outcome, a very positive thing to do. So I just wanted to touch on a few. There's a lot of things that we could talk about that has gone on the last 8 years, and I don't want to sit up here and go through all that. So I did pick out 6 items. I just want to briefly touch base. these, I think, are the 6 most important things that we have done as a community in the last 8 years. And I say we've done this as a community. You know, the community has bought into all of this. And that, obviously, you need that if you're going to move the city forward. So the first thing I wanted to mention was after I became mayor, the city of Princeton we have been designated managerial form of government since 1956, I think, when there was a referendum that passed. But the city never hired a city manager. They didn't until the year 1999. And even up until the time I was elected mayor, we were not a true managerial form of government. So I think the year 2 of when I was mayor, we became a true managerial form of government. Things changed. A lot of it was internal as far as how the city is managed. And since Teresa has come on as our city manager 4 years ago, she's been a godsend. I can't go over everything that she has meant to this city. You know, she came in, she didn't know anybody. She moved here, she didn't know anybody. You know, she was the county administrator up in Lee County. But she came here, she doesn't know anybody. She bought a house because she had to. And, you know, she comes in and she's got, you know, getting to know everybody, all the employees, the council, myself. She has, you know, she is now very well versed in what she's doing, and she is an outstanding city manager. We're all very, very fortunate to have her managing the city. Another what I want to mention is probably, again, maybe the first year when I was mayor, we set various committees throughout the city of Princeton: the Bicycle Pedestrian Committee, the Public Arts, and the Historic Preservation Committees. And these are all, they are up and running. They are extremely vibrant. They're all fully memorized. They do an outstanding job. When you go around and see a lot of the stuff that's going on in Princeton, a lot of it is being run by the Bicycle Pedestrian, the Public Arts, and Historic Preservation Committees. They do a wonderful job, and very, very healthy committees. The next is the street. So 4 years ago, we passed a referendum, 0.25% sales tax, to fund the maintenance and repair of our city streets. That, with the motor fuel tax assist that we get every year, has really, it's turning we've turned the tables as far as what our streets are like. We're going to put about $700,000 in our streets this year. We're in year 3, I believe. So we have 7 more years of this before that sales tax sunsets and is removed. My hope is that as we come up on that 10-year anniversary, that the city council at that time considers having another referendum to continue that program and maybe even make it permanent. The 0.25% sales tax isn't hurting anybody. It's not hurting the businesses, and it's you know, the streets are always going to have to be repaired. They're always going to have to be paid. And if we continue that referendum, we continue that program, we'll be able to take care of these streets the way we should have been taking care of them for years. So the next thing is our debt and our reserves. When I came in as mayor, our debt was about $42 million, and our reserves were essentially depleted. We didn't have any. And since then, we have reduced our debt to $19 million, and our reserves are now at $11 million, and we expect them to hit $12 million by the end of this year. And I'll say that the majority of those reserves that we have today have come to us since Teresa has been our city manager. So it is, you know, getting those reserves up is just, it's a huge deal for emergencies. And I'm not going to go into all the situations that could occur, but it's a really good thing. So the next one is Ollie's coming to town. So we got Ollie's. They're out at the industrial park. We sold our industrial park to them. They are currently under work. They're moving a lot of dirt. You're going to be seeing cranes out there soon. You'll be seeing walls go up. It's 250 to 300 jobs for the city of Princeton. We have met with Ollie's on multiple occasions. They are a great, great group of guys that we've been working with. Arco, their construction company. For them to come to us in April, a year ago, and for us to have come to an agreement by October on a job this big is really talks about the relationship that we built with Ollie's. And so we have that to look forward to. That they expect to be open second quarter of next year. Maybe the biggest thing that's happened to us is that, and it was the most difficult, biggest decision the city's ever made, and it's the most difficult decision the city's ever made, and that was turning the keys of Perry Memorial Hospital over to OSF to take over the healthcare needs of this community well into the future. We've seen what happened over at IVCH in Peru. A very unfortunate situation that's going on over there. If we had not done what we did, Perry was scheduled to close this year, next year at the latest, and we would be without a hospital. If it wasn't for Perry Memorial, we wouldn't have Schneider's, we wouldn't have LCN, we wouldn't have Champion, we wouldn't have ACE. Ollie's wouldn't be here. I mean, if you don't have a hospital to serve the community and the employees, Princeton would not be what it is today. It's so important to have a hospital, a quality outfit like OSF. They were one of, I think, 4 hospital groups that we contacted and discussed our situation with. And OSF was the one that wanted us the worst. So very fortunate there. And we do have some future projects going forward. I can't name names, but we've been working with one group starting back before COVID. They want to be here in Princeton, and then COVID hit, and then we didn't hear anymore from anybody. But since now, in the last, 6 months or so, we have been recontacted. They want to be here in Princeton. It'll be a huge boost to us. Things are kind of rolling along, and we're hopeful that we're going to hear something in the foreseeable future on that. And then we've also, for the last year, been working with 2 developers out of Chicago for 2 businesses. Also, all of these are north of railroad tracks. These 2 projects look very good for us. And we should hear something this summer on both, and it'll be exciting news to the city of Princeton. All 3 of these projects. So, with that said, I want to say, we've got great department heads in the city of Princeton. We got Tim with water and wastewater, Jeff with the electric, Quint with streets, Scott, our fire chief, and Tom, our police chief. Our newest department head is Victoria with tourism. These people really know how to run the city. They do a great job, extremely responsive. They're very customer oriented in all fields. So they run great departments, and we're lucky to have all of them. And then the administration, Teresa and Pete and Janet and Lori and Lisa here at City Hall. Just a great group. Stephen, I got to mention Stephen as well, our IT guy.
Thanks.
So yeah. I mean, it's just really we really got some great people all across the board, working for the city, right on down the line, from top to bottom. So, and then going forward, Ray Mabry will be stepping up here in 2 weeks from tonight to be sworn in as your next mayor. I have known Ray. We're the same age. We graduated in the class of 1977. I've known Ray since 7th grade. Ray's, his heart is with Princeton. He loves Princeton. You can see it in everything that he does around town. So he's going to be coming in here, and I totally expect with Ray, with his current council, it's going to move Princeton forward. The progressive nature that we've been doing over the last 8 years will continue, and it will all be a good thing. So again, that's all I have. So again, thank you. It's been, again, an honor and a privilege to serve you as mayor, and now it's on to other things. Okay, so moving on. Do we have any old business from the council? Any new business? Public comment. Okay, I'll entertain it.
I think with that, he deserves some applause.
Yeah.
If I could, I have a couple comments I'd like to make. I'm the only guy that's been sitting here for the last 8 years with Joel, and it's been an honor just to be with him. He was elected mayor. I was elected for my first 4-year term, and so we've been down this road together. I just thought I would share a few ideas with you. Unfortunately, he mentioned most of them like 2 minutes ago. So I'm going to mention them again, just for the heck, because I wrote it all down. Joel, some thoughts. You had some very big ideas for the city, and you also took on some very big issues. During your 8 years, you inspired citizens to step up, join committees, and participate in making Princeton a better place to live. The community came together to plan events, create outdoor art, and recognize our historic city. We made tremendous progress over the years, and you were a big part of all of it. For example, we have a new $67 million distribution center under construction, new shops on Main Street, and miles of newly paved streets. Also, the Perry Memorial Hospital transition to OSF St. Clair was historic. We changed the way people in our community will receive professional medical care for years to come. You also dealt with some issues. The marijuana dispensary, we all remember that. Food trucks, another fun event, and chickens. But after a lot of meaningful discussions with all of these folks about all of these concerns, we came to some thoughtful decisions on all, which is great. You never hesitated to say what was on your mind and make those hard decisions, even when they were somewhat controversial. I'm proud to have served with you for 8 years. Thank you for your leadership. You'll be missed.
Well, I had go ahead.
No, I was going to adjourn. We're not ready to adjourn. Okay.
I do want to invite everybody to stay for some cake. A lot of cake, cookies.
Punch.
It's just punch. But before we do that, we do have a couple of things for Mayor Quiram as a presentations for some thank you gifts for him for his commitment and dedication for the last 12 years. But first, personally, I want to say thank you for your continuous support for my first 4 years here, almost 4 years, as city manager. You've entrusted me with the responsibility to carry out the city's business and always made sure that I'm going to say our department heads as well, and our employees had the support and resources to do their jobs safely and efficiently. You entrusted me with that duty. Thank you for doing that. So your trust and your support is something I'll always be grateful for. Okay. On to the gifts. And you said no gifts.
I said plant a tree.
We will do that. But we know he's very partial to this gavel, and he said he was going to steal the gavel on the last day. So Pete had it nicely engraved for him, so I'm going to formally give this back to you for your last. But don't hit it yet, because Pete has another piece that goes to it.
Well, every gavel needs a gavel holder. So this plaque recognizes Joel's council member years of 2011 to 2015 and mayor from 2015 to 23, with the thanks of the citizens of the city of Princeton. And the gavel fits ever so neatly right in there. So Susan, this will look good in your newly revised you also get to take your bling plaque. And I guess on a more legal-looking note, the mayor finally got his badge. It's a gold-plated badge, but it's nicely done. It's got your name and it's got your dates of service as mayor. And please accept that on behalf of the citizens with their thanks.
Very much, very nice, very much appreciated. Thank you very much. Here.
And yes, there will be a tree planted.
Yes, there will be.
All right, so let's go ahead and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn and reconvene.
You got it. I move that we adjourn our regular meeting this evening and reconvene for our next meeting on Monday, May 1st, 2023, 7 o'clock at City Hall.
Second.
Motion for the second. Call roll.
Councilmember Newman.
Aye.
Gomez.
Aye.
McCall.
Aye.
McCransky.
Aye.
Mayor Quiram.
Aye. This meeting is adjourned, and thank you all for attending.
Oh, yeah.
If you don't cut it, it's one big piece.
Bye, Nick.
Come on, come get a piece of cake.
Bye. That's, wow.